Morning, everybody. Rusty from the Rusty Raider having another shave of the day for you. And today we're going to be delving into PAA's Irish Springs. Yes, if you like Irish Spring soap, this stuff is for you. So, come spring, when it comes available at PAA, pick it up. If you missed it already. Alright, so there we go. If you know what Irish Spring smells like, there you go. That's it. And today we're going to be using the 1983 Black Beauty with some Astra blades, first use, setting 3. Don't need any more than that for me. Bought this in 1983. So it's been a long time with me. My very first razor that I purchased for myself. Alright. Soap smells like Irish Spring. And we're going to follow up with a little Pinaud Clubman. I was debating whether to use Brute or Barbasol with this one, but I decided to go with some Pinaud Clubman. I like Pinaud Clubman. Alright. Well, slick sheen of Barbasol 1919 on the face. Adds that first little layer as you go in. And I always put it on just before, I start lathering all my soap up. And speaking of the soap lather, look at this. Oh, yeah. It's just not quite drippy, but it's got some body to it. It's just got that consistency. I like it for myself. What's this? I don't know, probably one of my wife's hairs. Yeah. So, how was your week? I should say weekend. So, yep, when I'm done here, I always have plenty of Irish Spring. If you're an Irish Spring person, which version of Irish Spring do you like? You like the original? I like the one with aloe in it, because it seems to add a little bit of moisture to you. So, keeps me from drying out as much. Especially this time of year when the air starts drying out. Boy. So, it's like, add a little bit of lotion to the body. The blade's working good. Now I went out of town over the weekend, went to my brother's, spent the day doing stuff together with my other brothers. And you got 5 other brothers, and you get a few of them together at the same time. It makes for an interesting day. I bought a snowblower from my one brother. He's like, he had an extra one. And he's like, yeah, you can have it for $100. It's like a $1,000 one, but you can have it for $100. Practically new. It's like, I only use it for 3 seasons, I think he said. My wife was like, bring it home. It's like, okay, I will do that. Because I used to have an ATV with a blade on, and I would push most of the snow out of the way with it. And then somebody stole my ATV out of my shed, hot wired it, and drove it away. They did it in about 20 minutes because I had to run over and pick my daughter up from school. This was, about 8-9 years ago, somewhere in there. And I ran out the door and came back. The door of the shed was open and the ATV was gone. So they obviously knew my schedule. I always left at the same time every day to get my kid. So it's always been break out the Mark I shovel and go to town, shovel it. So every time we have to go shovel snow, my wife was like, it's like, you want any help? Oh, sure, I'll take some help. And she gets out there and she's like, oh, this is so hard. But does this not bother you? He said, well, it kind of bothers me, but there's a reason I work out all the time. So when I have to do these things, it doesn't bother me as much. So he's like, we need a snowblower. And then when my brother said, I got a snowblower if you want it, $100. And she's like, yes, take it home. She's like, she's figuring she'll use it to blow the snow around. A lot of times, a snowblower's not even worth it. There were many times when it would snow, I was like, by the time we would get the, like the ATV out and get it warmed up, you know, I would have had the snow shoveled off the sidewalk anyway, so I wouldn't use it all the time. That was when it got, and you get some of that heavier wet stuff that we get every once in a while. Since this is Iowa, it would be wet. Well, I guess it's 50% of the time we get this wet stuff. And it's like, man, 50 pounds per scoop, you know. It's like, you get done and you're like, I'm sweating. But it was a good workout. Feel the burn, baby, you know, type of thing. I'd look at it as a workout. My wife would look at it as like misery. She was like, this sucks. Like, well, if you worked out with me like you used to, you wouldn't have these problems. And there was a time, it's like when I was in college with her, and she'd work out all the time. And then after we got married, we'd still worked out. Even after the kids were born, up until probably about 2008, she would always do workouts with me. And then one day she's like, this is too much. And she just quit. Like, okay. Now she complains about everything. Like, well, if you keep up with it, life isn't as hard. That's part of the secret of life. Doing things hard at times, keeping yourself in shape, makes certain jobs easy. If that makes any sense. That's how I always look at it. And it helps, you know, it's like, that's something you learn in the military too. I've always been active in sports. You know, when I was in the military, you had to stay in shape because you always had a PT test twice a year, and spring and fall. And usually September and sometimes like April. You always had about 6 months apart. You had a PT test. So you had to run 2 miles, do push-ups, sit-ups. I usually did about 70 sit-ups in 2 minutes and 110 push-ups in 2 minutes, and run 2 miles. Typically it was between 10 and 12 minutes. And I always jogged. Stay in shape. That's an important thing. It's like, they changed the PT test too in the military. It's like they went to some fangled weird women are doing it here in the last couple of years. You know, I guess they were doing testing of what they wanted to change. And then this year they changed it, and half the people are failing it. I don't know if that was because they wanted to do that on purpose to clean everybody out of the military. I don't know. So we'll have to see what becomes of it. Because, you know, you got your friends and family that are still in. You hear a lot about what's going on. But yeah, it is keeping a balanced lifestyle. And it's like I have a universal machine. I got free weights and stuff. My wife is like, "Are you ever using that universal machine?" Yeah, I use it once a week for doing back workout. And she's like, well, is that worth it for once a week? To me, it is. I don't know about you, but for me, it's worth the effort. Keeps the back strong, because when you have a extremely bad back, some personal advice, don't ever break your back. No, don't do it. It sucks. It's going to be a lifetime of keeping it strong, just because if you don't, oh my God, it's like miserable. I don't know if you can hear that banging sound. The neighbors over the weekend tore out their driveway, and right now they just laid into the forms, and I heard beeping, so I'm just wondering if they're brought in a cement truck. It is possible that they're laying concrete right now. They're basically, what they done was they tore up their driveway, setting up a new patio back in the backyard with concrete, so they can set up their new fire pit. So it is. Speaking of fire pits, wife just told me last night, it's getting cold, because yeah, it's like now it's chilly out. It's like fall finally showed up. It's like end of October and fall finally showed up. So it sounds like she wants to break out the fire pit and start using it. It's like, use the fire pit when it's really cold, so you can sit around it. I prefer when it's like clear out. You know, it's like you got clear skies. It might drop down into the 30s. But you got the fire pit going, and you can sit there and stargaze. Makes it reminiscent of, with my family and I, we used to do a lot of camping. Which isn't interesting. I don't know if I told this story about the time I went up to Gooseberry Falls in Minnesota, camping up there in the North Shore. So maybe I'll save that one for the next time, if I remember to tell the story. It was fun. And let's see. Moisture. Seems to be seems to dry out a little faster than a lot of other soaps this PAA does. Smells good, but it's kind of a soft soap. And watch this on my chin. You can hear that blade working. All right, but I was just looking at my feed over the years. It's like, I don't know how many years, but if you post a lot on Facebook, you know, they always have your year, you know, what happened on this day in the memory wall. Number of times you see the first snow of the season in October. We haven't even had frost yet here. You know, they've had it in the northern part of the state, but we haven't had it here in Des Moines. It's not cold enough. The metro has its own microclimate, but it usually runs about 2-3 degrees warmer because it's the concrete city. And it keeps things warmer at night, so it has to be a lot more cold. It has to drop down to about 28 outside the city before we actually start seeing frost in the city, unless it's a low-lying area away from a lot of concrete. Because parking lots will warm up and it takes a lot of cool air to cool them off. So, all right, I think we got it. So it's sooner or later we're gonna have snow. I don't know how many of you have had kids, but a lot of times I take the kids trick-or-treating and it's like snowing when it's trick-or-treating time. Smells good. I smell like I'm bathed in Irish Spring. Ah, yes, here we go. Pinaud Clubman. Open up. See how this works together. This may be bad, this may be good. Yeah, it complements each other. You get a little bit of different. I can smell different parts of the Pinaud Clubman coming out, but it seemed to be working. Nice little combination. Oh yeah. This is a little dried out. A little bit of lotion. Yeah, it's that time of year where I start putting more lotion after a shave because the face starts drying out. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, that was PAA's Irish Springs. Yes, every once in a while it's good to think about when it's going to be green, because right now everything is turning fall colors around here. Normally we have the fall colors 2 weeks ago, but it's just starting now. So, all right, so that was the 1983 Gillette Black Beauty with some Astra beds, first use. Made a nice smooth shave. I like it. Hope you guys have a good one, and we'll see you in the next one. Rusty out.